Go. Hello and welcome to the first edition of 2017 Geeks Assembled. In this edition, we're going to be reviewing Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. We picked this because over the new year, on our break from the channel, Carrie Fisher, who played Princess Leia, unfortunately passed away. So we're doing this cast in memoriam for her and for the character of Princess Leia. So we'll start off by saying, what is everyone's favourite bits about this film?
Oh, lots of it. I mean, Darth Vader. You know, the Darth Vader as a whole. I mean, all the scenes of Darth Vader, and I also like the opening as well.
Yeah,
you know how it opens, and the crawl at the beginning. That is just so. I don't know. Had it been done before that? Had there been a crawl for a film like that before? At the beginning of a film?
I think so.
Or was Star Wars the first one to do like?
That was the first one to do it for such a big movie and a sci-fi movie. There were other movies that had done that. And of course, in Doctor Who, they did that in The Deadly Assassin.
Oh, cool. They did that. Yes,
narrator. So
the parts I liked were the blue jib and the Lars ship, like the Owen and Beru Lars are the best ship in Star Wars.
My favourite of it really is that it was so unexpected and its success at the time. When I went to see this, I was blown away. I was only 7 when I went, and I was blown away. It's a homage to those Saturday morning matinees like Flash Gordon and stuff like that, because George Lucas loved all that sort of stuff. But you can name any part of the movie and everything stands out. I mean, the scenes in the desert on Tatooine, and with the Tusken Raiders and the Jawa. I mean, the little Jawas. I think they're just so funny, But and Mos Eisley, the canteen scenes. As you say, Vader is an iconic villain now. It's just a brilliant all the way through. 2 hours of fun.
Well, my longest lasting memory of this is that my son was born 13 days before it was released in the UK. So to be perfectly honest, I didn't take a lot of notice. I didn't go and see the film on its original release because I had my hands rather full. But my favourite parts, not surprising considering it's me, was anything that included Alec Guinness, all the Obi-Wan Kenobi parts. They were just, he's screen magic, the man, absolute screen magic. And I just loved everything that was here. He was in. I particularly enjoyed the bit where he basically did the Confunder spell on the stormtroopers who were looking for the droids. These are not the droids you are looking for.
Classic, yeah.
Absolute brilliant moment. And it's gone down in cinema history, that one. I just absolutely love it. And of course the droids, Kenny Baker and Anthony Daniels, they were just superb, absolutely superb. Human beings playing robots so brilliantly. It's amazing, just absolutely amazing. That's my memorable moments.
It's hard. Oh no, go ahead, Connor.
I think one bit that really, because I rewatched this in the past week, ready for the review, and one bit that really stood out for me that didn't stand out before was the very beginning, when Vader enters the ship. Because anyone that has seen Rogue One,
yes, me,
will know that the ending of that completely changes your perception of the start of that film, because you just realise Vader was pretty close to getting them plans back. So it really sort of, the intensity of the scene is a lot higher, because even though he's choking the general of the diplomacy mission, as it was disguised as, you're still with that sort of extra thing in mind. It really sort of ramps the stakes up, and it just makes that scene even better. And that is an iconic scene in the first place, because it's all the rebels like lining the corridors, shooting at all the stormtroopers that are flooding into the ship, and then you have Vader's first appearance as he enters, and it's just iconic. But I think that really is a standout moment for me, having seen Rogue One now. Another bit is, I think Harrison Ford,
part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away.
It is funny seeing how angry he gets at that, because usually Vader is really evil, but he never loses his composure. He's really stern, and he's really strong. He don't really. So hearing him get angry like that is a bit strange. And another thing I was going to say is Han Solo. Any bits with him in it just makes Star Wars for me. He's absolutely my favourite character of the entire saga. And then, of course, I've got to say Carrie Fisher as a 19-year-old actress. This is her breakout role as because she really is very feisty in this film. She's bossing Han Solo around, who is pretty adamant that he only takes commands from himself, and she's really getting into his head, and she's really sort of mothering him, where you do this, do that, go down there, into the garbage chute. She's just an absolute memorable character, and it's sad that now we don't have any more Princess Leia.
I have to agree with Connor, though, that I've seen Rogue One, and I do now see this film in a different light. I see it because, obviously, I'm not obviously going to spoil Rogue One for people who haven't seen it, but you see how it joins together, and you look at this film in a different light because of it. But I love all the characters in this. I really do. And I one of my favourite scenes, and it's always been, is when they're nearly going to be crushed. Because I just think that is a horrible fate to have, to be crushed. I mean, obviously, they're not going to be crushed, obviously, because it's a kid's. I shouldn't say it's a kid's film, should I? I'll get hate in the comment box if I say it's a kid's film. But, kids enjoy it. So, they were never going to crush the characters to death. But it's still, to watch.
Well, my favorite moments were, of course, with Han Solo and Luke Skywalker. Those scenes were very cool. Luke Skywalker is the main character of this whole thing. Back in the day when it was released, it was called Star Wars, not A New Hope, not just Star Wars. It was the name. But they changed it later because of the prequels. That were just absolute, prequel-ies, But after seeing Rogue One, it's a really different. You can see the film from Vader's eyes, Vader was Vader was really the villain of this movie, and it takes us for this part is only A New Hope, like with Luke Skywalker with the lightsabers, with the Katina scene, all those memorable moments. But now that Carrie Fisher is gone, it's a shame. But gone, but never forgotten.
Well, I mean, we don't know what Disney's going to decide in terms of what they're going to do with the series continuing with Part 8 and Part 9. I know that Cornell reports she did.
Part 8 has done.
Yeah, Miss Fisher finished her scenes with Part 8 of the Star Wars saga. But
I've got to disagree though with what Kevin said. It's not Luke's story.
No.
Darth Vader's story.
It's Darth Vader's all the way. All the way through the sagas. It's Vader's story.
Oh.
But going back to scenes as well, I'll just put a final scene. as we beefed had with Alec Guinness, you've got a big thumbs up to Peter Cushing as well.
Oh,
he Grand Moff Tarkin. I mean, he was on in sets, not many scenes, but when he was on that screen, you felt his importance. He was telling telling all these people around the table, this is what we're going to do, blah blah blah, and Lord Vader, go and do this, go and do that. I mean, only Cushing could have done that.
I think he's just as menacing as Vader. I think he's just as menacing and just as scary. I mean, the way he looks, his thin face, it's just everything about him is scary.
Well, that's why he was so successful in the Hammer horror films. I mean, he always played the heroes in those, but he was brilliant actor.
I think one scene that I noticed on rewatch that I totally forgot about was when Vader is in the conference room with Tarkin and all the other generals and officials on the Death Star. And you actually realise that Vader doesn't like the Death Star. He doesn't like the concept of it. He prefers the Force. And you can tell even Tarkin doubts the Force. Because even though he's got Vader there and he's probably seen the full extent of Vader's powers at some point, he still doesn't, a bit like Han Solo, he doesn't believe that the Force exists. And then, of course, you have Vader killing the guy. Really, he just really proves it. But yeah, I think it's really important to note that Vader didn't like the Death Star. He just preferred to use the Force than to have a planet-killing machine on the Empire's side. Although it did give them a significant advantage over the Rebels for quite a while.
So yeah,
Brian's quite quiet.
So,
no, go ahead, Susan.
Let's see. Some other parts that I really liked in this were the menace and the torture scene with Leia. She was tortured for information. She never caved. She never caved. I mean, even to the point where her own planet was being threatened, she never caved. She never said Yavin 4. She said Dantooine. They'd been there like 10 years before or something, or 5 years before, whatever it was in the Rebels, and she never caved. I mean, she was so strong against torture, against intimidation, against complete utter destruction of her homeworld, against a force that was completely mind-blowing. She was awesome in that scene.
There's one thing I've always wondered about. That's why didn't Vader sense who Leia was?
There's a massive theory about that. I'm not quite sure why, but I want to believe it's because she's not as strong with the Force as Luke is. She is Force sensitive, a tiny bit. She doesn't have any powers, but she is a tiny bit Force sensitive. But because I like to think that it's almost like a radar pinpoint. Vader can't sense that minute amount of Force sensitivity in Leia, so it's a bit different from how it is with Luke. But
I don't think Force sensitives were ever really able to sense each other as much as sensing the properties of what they're carrying so I mean, Vader may have said that he would never break through this woman's psychic barriers and her force strength, but that she would never that because she was so strong as a personality, it masked any sort of connection to him.
I mean, that is an interesting point, because in The Force Awakens, Rey resists Kylo Ren. So maybe, in a way, Leia is resisting, even though she doesn't know that Vader's her father. She's resisting detection from Vader. because maybe she knows, in a way, she's a tiny bit force sensitive. And it just makes the whole matter of the situation more dangerous.
Yeah, but her personality was so much bigger than any sort of connection she had to anybody else in the story, except for her father and mother, who just got wiped out on the planet,
Yeah.
or who were going to get wiped out on the planet. She wasn't connected to anybody else.
Yeah. So, as Alid said, Brian and Daniel have been quite quiet. Do you have anything to say, guys?
Well, I don't know. I really like this movie. I remember watching this movie back in 1991. I just thought it was the best thing. The first scene was like really good. Like when you see like the Corellian starfighter fighting the Star Destroyer. When you see the Star Destroyer, you get a feel of how far-reaching the Empire is. Because I don't know, that's what they say, and it's true that you do. You think that the Empire is like this menacing thing, and I think it was awesome. My favorite character is like Han Solo. He was like just like this really badass character, and Harrison Ford is one of my favorite actors, and I still don't understand why he wanted to be written out of this series. I mean, I don't know. Ever since Jedi, he wanted to be written out, but they wouldn't do it at the time. So, because they were like, oh, he asked George Lucas, "Could you kill off my character now?" And he's like, "No, I can't kill off your character now because if we do that, we'll piss off the fans, and nobody wants to play with dead Han Solo toys when you're dead." So, like, okay, he had to wait 32 years for the sequel to come out so we get you guys' character axed, and I'm like, oh shit, this is so stupid, man. Why would you want to get yourself killed? I mean, who would want to do that? I love this series. I would stay on if I was him. You know what I mean?
But to him, it's just another job, isn't it?
I think Harrison Ford.
It's just another job.
Yeah, Harrison Ford is the sort of actor that knows what he wants to do, and he knows what sort of roles he wants. He doesn't want to be attached to Han Solo for all of eternity, because he's got so many more iconic roles that he's been a part of, and that he's played, and that he's recognised for. That just pinning yourself down with just Han Solo, when you've got loads of other memorable characters you can make, is a bit illogical for an actor, I think. It's the same with the Doctors in Doctor Who. You don't want to be typecast in the role forever, because it can ruin a career, to be honest.
Well, that's why the new ones have left so early, really, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've only done 3 years. Brian, I'm a bit worried. Can you speak in that? You're not passed out here.
But he was Indiana Jones for like 4 movies, and he's going to be Indiana Jones
Brian
for the
wasn't.
5th movie, and he's okay with that.
Yeah, but there was much more of a span between the Indiana Jones movies than there has ever been with Star Wars.
And he's the main character in Indiana Jones. He's the only one, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the main, it's all about him, where Star Wars isn't about him.
Yeah.
So maybe that plays into it. Maybe,
well, I mean,
I don't know.
Of course, he's also coming back in the Blade Runner, but that's another series again. So,
but he's not the main character in that.
In Blade Runner, yeah, he is.
Brian, what are your favourite Star Wars scenes and moments?
My favorite character for the original, and for the original Star Wars film, A New Hope, is Alec Guinness, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Well, Ben Kenobi, as they call him in the Star Wars movie. Every scene that he's in, I absolutely love. I think my favorite moment would have to be the fight between Ben Kenobi and Darth Vader at the end.
Yeah, it's a good fight.
Well, close to the end, anyway. And I think that's my absolutely favorite part of the film.
I got a question about that bit. Why does he disappear when Vader?
Do you know? Me and Connor was talking about this the other day.
I noticed actually that Vader hits him more towards the head than he does the torso.
He hits him here, doesn't he?
Yeah, but the lightsabers cut through people.
Yeah.
That's what I don't get. Yeah, it burns through him.
That's actually true. Hold on. Ben Kenobi let himself get hit, and
I get that.
I would get that,
but he when he let himself get hit, he became one with the Force, and that's how he became a Force.
Well, why didn't Darth Maul become part of the Force?
Well, maybe he did. We don't know.
Untrained.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, the sabers cut through. I mean, the arm in the canteen on the floor, Darth Maul was cut in half. It cuts through. He just evaporated.
Oh no, but he's still alive.
No, he's dead.
No, he's dead.
I think it's a lack of special effects.
Yeah.
They can't do an
it was because he just came one with the Force.
Yeah, they call it a Force ghosting.
And then he's doing some creepy talking to Luke.
I mean,
that would worry me if I've got this voice of a man who's died. I mean, no offense, but he's only just met him. He's only
true.
He doesn't even know the bloke.
me and Connor was having a discussion the other day about Obi-Wan Kenobi.
You've been
because
having
of
a
what
lot of
happened.
discussions with Connor.
No, but what happened? But what's happened in the prequels has totally shifted what happened in the New Hope, making Obi-Wan a very nasty piece of work.
He is quite nasty in this.
Yeah, lied to Luke, giving Luke his father's lightsaber, which he said his father wanted to have it. He used it to kill all them little kids.
Yeah.
And then it took him on this. It was this one-way mission, really, wasn't it?
He forced him onto what could have easily have been a death trap mission at any point in the entire saga. There was more than at least 10 occasions in which Luke could have died. So really, Ben Kenobi is a nasty piece of work. And
he denies ever having a droid.
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah, that is one blurry bit about the movie that, like, you'd think he'd recognise R2-D2, but he doesn't. And it's
it could be because he was very old at the time, and he ain't.
So you're saying he's got dementia?
If he was in the Clone Wars, yeah, but if he was in the Clone Wars, he remembers all the Clone Wars. You'd remember the droider was with you.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of stuff happened during the Clone Wars and everything, so you never know.
The droid stayed with Padme. That wasn't. It was R4 who was Obi-Wan Kenobi's droid. R2-D2 belonged to.
Yes, but it'd been with Ben Kenobi.
Yeah, randomly, but.
But you'd remember it, wouldn't you?
All right, true. He did lie.
He lied.
He's a liar.
He's a nasty old man.
Yeah.
He is.
It depends on the truth from a certain point of view.
He's gone down in my estimations now.
No, but
that's the other thing about stories and especially science fiction is the fans will pick, whichever little line or sequence.
Yeah, I mean, like with
and the filmmakers, the directors, the producers, they may not even think along those lines or care.
I mean, like with the Force Ghost, Yoda trained them to do that because they mentioned that at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Well, I mean, again, depending on whether you read all the books or depending on whether you read the novelizations, and there's a radio version of Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
I mean, not to mention the prequels and everything, but that's what the case was.
Okay.
Well, let's hold on, because Connor might have a question about the prequels.
But what I was trying to say is that they added extra scenes in the radio version of Star Wars, the original. they actually added. They actually told you what happened during the torture sequence.
Well, we've gone a bit off topic on the favourite scenes and moments. Let's see what other questions Connor's got for us.
To move the conversation along, I suppose the next logical step would be to go to weakest parts of the movie, if there is any, because I know that to me
Special effects.
quite forward.
Yeah, the new special effects that were added. I think the new special effects that were added. I think when they're like on the desert planet and they got Obi-Wan, and then and then you got the stormtroopers on those horrible looking CGI. What I don't even know what they are, buffaloes or whatever they are. And then you go in, drive into the city.
Yeah, and then you've got like these
hopping little mice or whatever they are, jumping little mice. They look absolutely horrible.
The special effect in the entire thing that really gets to me, I listed 3, is that one about the mice, the one where the stormtroopers are patrolling around on those big, whatever they are, elephant sort of things.
Lizard pigs.
Yeah, lizard pigs. And when a lizard pig walks in shot and cuts the camera for about half a minute, and then you just see the speeder speeding past, it looks really bad. But I mean, we can't see the original of the originals because they haven't released them, and they probably won't release them, and that's because of George Lucas. So I'm glad that George Lucas felt he had the right to edit the hell out of that movie. But I want the original of the original.
Yeah, it cheapens it for me. It cheapens it.
I think the weakest moment, like a complaint about like the new effects, is the Han Solo scene within the cafe, like where he shoots the guy, and
everybody's like,
"Oh, who shot first? You mean who shot first?"
Exactly, who shot first? They use like some CGI moment, like where he flings his head to the side while he shoots, and they say like the alien shot first of Han.
So, for the purpose of debate, we'll go to a classic Star Wars debate: who shot first?
Han Solo shot first.
The stormtrooper shot first.
No,
if you watch the movie.
Greedo.
What's Stormtrooper? There wasn't a Stormtrooper.
At the beginning.
It was Greedo.
It hasn't Greedo.
No, the stormtrooper at the beginning of the film shot first. The very first storm shoot.
We're not on about
that. What the hell?
He shot first. Who cares who shot first? I don't. I'm not.
I tell you, my most disappointing part in the film. I mean, and it's mostly what was loved by stand to scene. It's all the aliens in there. The costumes look so cheap.
The CGI is what I don't like.
The CGI is worse.
I'm not on about the CGI. I'm on about all the costumes in the original. They were just there. There was people wearing a space helmet, or there was someone there, and it did look like someone in a costume, rubber mask on.
Excuse me, we like Doctor Who.
You say that.
Come off it.
But
excuse me, it's my opinion, Alid.
Yeah, Alid, and this is not Doctor Who.
But we're used to people in costumes.
Yes, but that for me is a scene what fails for me.
But I prefer it, to be honest, because I like there's something physically there. I always think it's better if it's physical. I'm not a big fan of all this CGI monsters and that. I'd rather have somebody there in a costume rather than it be poor CGI.
Yeah, and I would love to have seen Greedo live.
No, there's
more Greedo.
There's only a certain amount of use for CGI that you can only use. Practical effects are much better.
Yeah. Practical effects are far better. Always.
They are better, but please don't make them look cheap, which they did in the original. They did look cheap.
Go ahead, Jeff.
For me, one of the scenes that they could have done so much more with, and they didn't do enough, was with the Jawas. They could have done so much more with those, but they just basically they threw them in and then threw them out.
I mean, I think they enhanced the effects for the lightsabers in the special editions of Star Wars.
Let Beef Dad finish what he was saying, Brian. Carry on.
Yeah, that's okay.
No, sorry, I thought he was done. I'm sorry, Beef.
Well, yeah, as I say, I wish there had been a little more on the Jawas, because you need to know what they do, how they do it, why they do it. Yeah, basically, yeah, they're like the rag and bone men. And it was just so, they were just so underused at that point. I mean, they did this really good scene with the birds, but not enough with the Jawas.
I'd agree with that, actually, yeah. I think you don't really see the purpose of the Jawas. As Beef said, they're just there and then they're out again.
Well, that's exactly... You can say the same about the Tusken Raiders as well.
Yeah, you could.
They're blink and you miss them.
Yeah.
They could have done so much more with those, sort of, the rest of those people. But maybe, time constrictions, money running out, because it was a shoestring, this movie, wasn't it?
Well, at least with the
back in the day,
at least with the Tusken Raiders, I mean, God forbid, in the prequels, they expanded upon them a bit more, because obviously what happened with Anakin and his mom, that was all around the Tusken Raiders. But yeah, I'd agree with both the Tusken Raiders and the Jawas. I think they're an interesting species, individual races. So I think it would have been nice to have a bit more.
And one big fail for me in the movie is Chewbacca never got a medal at the end.
Oh no, he didn't, did he? No, Chewbacca. No, that's.
And Connor, you can't say it's because he's a Wookiee. Now that is very
that is
biased.
racist. That is speech. What do you call it? Yeah, that's not good.
He's destined to have. That's about the extent of Chewbacca's sort of allegiance with the rebels. I don't. I mean,
even in this country, dogs get awarded medals, and animals and birds get awarded medals.
If you think about it,
Chewbacca doesn't get one.
Where would he put the medal? Because
where everybody else puts a medal. Unless you're thinking of someone else, mate.
That is
it's not going. Heaven forbid.
That is his skin. That's his skin. If he's piercing into himself, then he's going to do himself more harm.
You don't know whether he's into piercing or not.
It will.
You can't judge him.
Wow.
It's so wrong. He should have got a medal.
Chewbacca is a great character, but I would not get in a hissy fit about him not getting a medal, to be honest.
He could put the medal.
There's some favoritism going on here. You
get a discussion about a medal on Chewbacca's neck.
Well,
the great argument of 2017, folks.
He could put the medal on the Millennium Falcon.
The trouble with this is that the actual thing, the actual scene comes from a movie that is anathema to myself and to others, and so I really won't mention it. But there was a female and two elders, and they were bestowing medals on only two of three soldiers in the original source material. So in order to be completely right down the line the same imagery that Lucas stole from this or used from this other source, this is why Chewie didn't get a medal.
Can I just say, Daniel hasn't had his say what he didn't like about the film.
Yeah, Daniel, do you have anything to say?
Well, there wasn't anything I didn't like about the film. I think the film was really perfect. I thought it was great. But about Obi-Wan Kenobi disappearing, yeah, some people say he disappeared into the Force. And like I know some people say, "Oh, he can come back," because he didn't technically die. The Force just swallowed him up, so he could come back. I don't think so. I think that like once you're a part of it, you can't come back. So yeah, and so yeah, he's not going to come back. And the whole thing with Han Solo shooting first, I don't really care really if who shot first. Really, I mean. People make a big deal out of it, and they're like, "Oh, Han shot first," and this whole thing. Well, I don't know. Okay, I don't really care who shot first. They both shot first. So what?
No, Han shot first.
I know.
I agree with Dan. I don't care who shot first.
Well, you'll be surprised how many people do.
Yeah.
Oh no, I know. I just don't understand why. I mean,
Han Solo shot first. Period.
Okay. Well, they both shot first. They're both badasses.
No, they didn't. No. Han Solo.
Well, in one,
Brian's getting really upset about this.
Okay.
Make sure your neck doesn't get tight, Daniel.
You'll be still up inside that.
Well, in one universe, he shot first, and in another universe,
In no universe, it's Han Solo shot first.
Anyway.
No, he didn't.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Favorite characters, if we're going with worst parts.
All of them.
All of them.
I would actually.
Leia.
Yeah, it's an ensemble
Han.
cast. It was just brilliant.
Obi-Wan.
Oh, and by the way, those big buffalo things are called banthas.
Oh yeah.
No, those are the ones with the curly. Those are the ones with the curly cues. The big
they're
buffalo
not- they
things were something else.
They were like green lizardy sort of things, but they're not banthas.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I think generally all the characters are good in this. I generally
It was really cast well.
Yeah.
Good cast.
Who's gonna lay it
I
on
can't choose
Julian?
one. I can't choose. I think they're all good.
I think Star Wars is the best series at making an unknown actor an absolute star.
Yes. I would agree with that. Yeah, with the prequels especially.
And apart from him,
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
yeah,
The reason why Darth Maul.
We're not talking about the prequels, Dan.
No, I'm saying the reason why Darth Maul didn't disappear was because he's still alive.
We
Don't
might
I'm not
get on to
pushing
the
anymore.
prequels. We might get on to the
Let's cut it off
prequels.
Stop talking about the
He's still
prequels.
alive in Star Wars Rebels. He's still alive in Star Wars Rebels.
Stop talking about the prequels.
But does anybody Does anybody else have anything to add on their favorite characters?
Okay, Chewie too. See, I have one Star Wars character left, and it's my Chewie.
he doesn't have a medal. Are you going to start a hissy fit about that, Lee?
Ooh, you just
Yeah.
the host is not meant to insult his guest. The cast
Yes,
members. Yes, getting too big for his
yeah.
boots. You know what? He looks. You know what? What's the general in Rogue One? He looks a bit like her. You know the woman general with that white top on.
It doesn't matter.
Mon Mothma.
Yeah, he looks a bit like her, doesn't he?
Look, it doesn't matter.
He does. He does. But because he's like hidden in the dark, but you can just see his white.
She's not in this film, but she's a fantastic character as well. So yeah, if I look like Mon Mothma, then I'm on a roll.
I hope that's not a spoiler I've just said for anybody.
I mean, it doesn't matter that Chewie got a medal or not. The point is that the character itself is awesome. And so,
Thanks for that, Brian.
Yeah, it's always wise to listen to someone dressed as Darth Vader, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
don't know the power of the dark side.
Elliot, are you well?
God, laugh.
That's my young apprentice.
I think
Oh, jeez.
What to learn about now?
Who wrote the Emperor in Susan? I have to. The Emperor's not in this one.
he
No,
isn't.
wait.
No, he isn't. Do you know-
He's only in
he
one.
doesn't even get mentioned, does he?
Yeah, he
No.
does. He just
Does it
scanned
count?
the Imperial Senate.
No. The Emperor is in 5 and 6.
But he doesn't get mentioned in this, does he?
No, he gets a mention.
Does he? Oh, he does.
I think
Oh.
he gets one mention at least, yeah.
Emperor.
But he was in 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Any more
right.
questions, Connor?
Yeah, actually, there is one that I did want to ask. Because, obviously, with what they've done with Rogue One, the way that they're doing the films now, where we're getting a spin-off every other year or whatever, would you want to see an Obi-Wan spin-off between
Yes.
the events of Revenge of the Sith and this?
Beef
Yeah.
Dad, would you?
I want to see that.
Oh, you're muted.
You're on mute, Beef Dad. Mute.
Yeah, Connor was breaking up there. I didn't hear what he said clearly.
I said, would you like to see a spin-off movie of Obi-Wan between the last of the prequels, Revenge of the Sith, and this one?
Well, as I haven't seen any of the recent Disney ones yet, I haven't really got a lot to say about that, have I? But for an Obi-Wan, without Alec Guinness for me playing Obi-Wan as an older Obi-Wan, I really don't care.
A lot of people don't actually, if it's not Alec Guinness. That's quite surprising because you'd think that Ewan McGregor would get a lot of, because he was quite good as Obi-Wan in my
He
opinion.
was, yeah.
But yeah, I think personally I would like to see him come back and sort of try and fill that gap in with a decent story. Because there is a lot, there's 20 years at least between both of the films.
Right.
Well, it looks like
Well, if it's anywhere near the quality of Rogue One, then yes, do it.
Yes, then.
Yeah, it's all about if they've got the story, if they've got the idea,
Yeah.
do it. But just don't throw something together that's gonna,
Yeah.
put the whole. Because you only need one awful film for people to start questioning a franchise.
Yeah.
well,
So just do it if you've got a good story, if you've got good actors for it, and everything like that. Then do it. Go ahead, Brian. You were going to say something.
we're getting old Ben back for Star Wars Rebels for an episode. I just want to add that in.
Oh yeah. There is that.
Is Rebels canon?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And where does that fit in the Star Wars universe then?
Between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope.
Before,
Oh, so this would be the same as this film then?
It's about 10 years before A New Hope, isn't it?
Yeah, it's right. It's between Rogue One and Revenge of the Sith.
So it would be between it would be the same time as this film you're suggesting now. Yeah.
Yeah. So it would bridge a gap that does need to be bridged, I think, because there is a lot of story there that can be told. Even though he was only a hermit for however many years. Lee?
Why not? If might as well do it.
And I just want to add that with Darth Vader, with his character, he never had Force lightning.
No.
Well, that's because
Right, what's that?
he was in an outfit. If he would have remained as Anakin, he would have definitely been taught Force lightning.
Oh, would he?
Yeah, that's probably because if you think about it, because of the impact it had going forward with the films, Return of the Jedi, how much it impacted on his outfit, and it basically killed him. If Mace Windu did, or someone like Mace Windu, did what he did in Revenge of the Sith to Palpatine, Vader would have been dead in the minute he came across a decent Jedi that could deflect that sort of thing, I think, anyway. If he was in the outfit. But
I always thought it was because that Vader wasn't really fully turned to the dark side like Luke said within Return of the Jedi.
Was sort of conflicted. I mean, he just as the ship, as these things are like the TIE fighters are chasing the the Luke and Biggs and Wedge Antilles, he hesitates. I mean, it seems like he hesitates because he's got him in his sights, and he shoots over here and then over there. You know, he doesn't. It's really strange. He's a conflicted character.
Yeah, it's a bit like our Connor.
Watch it. So to close off, I think we'll go around the panel and we'll final say of anything that you've held back on or rating, basically. So, Alid, what's your rating? And
it's got to be 10. I love it. I just love it. I've forgotten how much I do like it. I've forgotten. I haven't watched it in quite a while, and I really enjoyed it. It's a seriously good film. And can I say, I don't think anybody's brought it up, which I'm amazed. And Connor never asked a question about it. But you know what is one of the best thing about Star Wars is the music.
Yeah, true.
The when it starts off, and that music, and the music throughout, and the sound effects, just really make it. It really does. I think the music elevates Star Wars to the next level. And I think a lot of it is to do with music and sound. Because if Darth Vader didn't have that, I don't think he'd be as half as scary. So I'm going to give it a 10 and pass it back to Connor.
That was a brilliant point, actually, about the music. Lee, what's your final thoughts and rating?
Your final thoughts is that George Lucas changed the face of cinema when he released this movie. Special effects, he's a leading light in special effects now in the movies. Him and Spielberg are way up there now. You know, people look up to these people. I totally agree about John Williams with the score and stuff like that. It's changed the face of movie history. Also, so we're remembering Carrie Fisher, but can we also remember Kenny Baker, who passed away last year as well, who created R2D, gave character to R2D2. He was a little guy with a big heart. But my score, I'm not going to give it a 10 because, in my opinion, the sequel is far superior. So it's going to be a 9 from me.
Thank you, Lee. Susan?
10 out of 10 forever. Star Wars rules. Fangirl here from the get-go. I can't tell you how important it was in my childhood and in my reality. I read all the books. This movie created a monster, and I was really I watched it before I watched Star Trek, and then so in after 77 I watched all of Star Trek and just got immersed in science fiction, dove headfirst into science fiction, and have spent the past 30 some odd years and very odd years, or 40 years. Yes, now it's 40 years. Reading.
It'll be 40 years in May.
So my rating is 10.
Kevin?
Well, my rating is an 8 out of 10.
Beef Dad?
You're muted.
You're muted, Beef Dad. You're muted.
Spielberg had a bit of a bet because Strange Encounters of the Third Kind was coming out at about the same time, and they both bet 2.5% of the films. And Steven Spielberg is still pulling in 2.5% of this Star Wars film. For me, it gets a 9.
Alex isn't there, so we'll move on to Brian.
But I would give this film a 8. I would give this film an 8 because I would agree with Lee that Empire boost the ratings for the franchise. It's people said that it's a much better film, but I think from my standing point with the franchise, I think from the originals is gonna be Return of the Jedi for me is my favorite. But that's my opinion. So, but my rating for this film is an 8.
Thank you, Brian. Daniel, what's your rating?
Oh, I give this a 10 out of 10. I thought it was just really well written, and I think it's George Lucas just made the best franchise ever, the best sci-fi franchise ever. You know, there's a reason why Star Wars is a massive mainstream audience, and that other Star franchise is a small niche audience. I told this to someone once, and they got really pissed off. You know how they are with their franchises, but yeah, this one is really, really good. And but I do agree that Empire is better. A lot of people say Rogue One is better now. It's like the best Star Wars movie ever. But I don't know. I like Empire because it came at a good time in my life, you know. So yeah, I did. It's great.
Alex, what's your rating of A New Hope?
I'd say the special effects, the music, the fact that it's pretty much a standalone film, I'd give it a 8, but I would actually give Empire a 9. But, you know, and Rogue One, I'd give a 7, definitely, if not more. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alex. My rating for this, I think Rogue One is better. And that's not just because I've just seen it. It really does feel like a much better movie than this. But this is a solid 8.5 out of 10 because this is also extremely magical. This changed cinema forever, as Lee said. So, yeah, this gets an absolute 8.5 out of 10 for me. So thank you, everyone, for joining me in discussing Star Wars. As Lee said, rightly said, this podcast will also be dedicated to Kenny Baker, who sadly passed away, the original and the only R2-D2 for me, and possibly for everyone else as well, I imagine. So yeah, rest in peace, Carrie Fisher and Kenny Baker. You will be remembered for eternity. You've gone down in history as two of the greatest actors and characters of all time, and you've left us with something really special. So thank you to both of them for what they've done for cinema, and thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and join us on Twitter, Facebook. We have a Facebook group still going. It seems to be creeping up with activities, so hopefully we can get more members and more new faces on the cast. We're always welcoming on new faces whenever we can. So hopefully we get to see more faces over the new year. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
You don't know the power